The crack of the bat echoed like a gunshot across the dusty field. But it wasn't ours that sent the ball soaring into the chain-link fence for a game-ending double. It was theirs, the smug kids from Riverton, their parents already on their feet, howling like they just won the World Series. I stood there in the dugout, dirt caking my cleats, my heart slamming against my ribs as Jamie, my 10-year-old, dropped his glove and stared at me with those wide blue eyes that mirrored my own betrayal. "Dad," he whispered, voice cracking like the summer heat. We were so close. And then it came, the jeer that sliced deeper than any loss. From the bleachers, old man Hargrove, red-faced and reeking of cheap beer even from 50 yards away, bellowed loud enough for the whole town of Elmwood, Nebraska, to hear, "Hey, Fairy Coach, stick to baking cookies. Leave the real game to the men." Laughter rippled through the crowd like wildfire, parents nudging each other, a few moms covering their kids' ears too late. I froze, the weight of every sidelong glance I'd endured since coming out 5 years ago crashing down. Jamie's team scattered, heads low, but I couldn't move, not until I saw the tears streaking his dust-smeared cheeks. That night, as the screen door slapped shut behind us in our creaky two-story on Maple Street, I pulled Jamie into a hug that smelled of sweat and crushed dreams. "It's just a game, buddy," I lied through gritted teeth, my voice steady for him if not for me. But inside, the mockery festered like an open wound. Elmwood was the kind of place where football Fridays lit up the town square and Sunday potlucks came with Bible verses on the Jell-O salad. Being a single gay dad here, it was like wearing a target on your back, especially when your ex had skipped town with a realtor from Omaha, leaving me to raise our boy alone. I'd poured everything into coaching Jamie's little league team. The endless practices under that relentless prairie sun, the pep talks in my beat-up Ford pickup, to give him the father figure I wished I'd had. And for what? To be the punchline at the post-game barbecue? I tucked Jamie in with stories of my own glory days, back when I was the star shortstop at Elmwood High, dreaming of scholarships and stadium lights. "Tomorrow's another chance," I murmured, kissing his forehead. But as I stumbled to the kitchen for a beer that wouldn't numb the ache, my phone buzzed on the counter. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Probably another debt collector chasing the mortgage on this fixer-upper we'd called home since Sarah left. But curiosity won. "Alex Rivera?" A deep voice rumbled, smooth as aged whiskey, with a faint East Coast clip that didn't belong in Nebraska. "This is Coach Elias Grant from the Cornhuskers Junior program. I was at the game today." My stomach dropped. The Cornhuskers? That was big-time university feeder team, the kind that scouted raw talent from Dust Bowl towns like ours. I'd seen their vans parked at regional tournaments, poaching kids with fastballs that could shatter windshields. But me, a washed-up 35-year-old has-been with a beer gut from too many late-night shifts at the auto shop? Yeah, I stammered, sinking onto a stool. "Look, if you're calling about the loss." He chuckled, low and warm, cutting me off like he knew exactly what I was thinking. "The loss? Hell, Rivera, that was the best-managed game I've seen from a volunteer coach in years. Your kid's got fire, pivot plays like a vet. But I'm not calling about him." Pause, heavy with something I couldn't place. "I'm calling about you. Meet me at the field tomorrow, Dawn. Got a proposition that'll change everything. But keep it quiet. This town's got ears." I hung up, staring at the phone like it had grown fangs. Change everything? Part of me wanted to laugh it off as a prank. Hargrove's cronies dialing from the VFW bar. But Elias Grant's name stuck, a ghost from my past. I'd read about him in the sports pages years ago. The golden boy of college ball, out and proud before it was cool, leading underdog teams to nationals with a philosophy that mixed grit and grace. Gay icon in cleats, they'd called him. What the hell would a guy like that want with a nobody like me? Sleep evaded me that night, the ceiling fan whirring like accusations. By 5 a.m., I was lacing up my old Nikes, Jamie still snoring softly down the hall. The drive to the field was a blur of cornstalk shadows and first light pink streaking the sky. Elmwood's diamond looked innocent in the dawn hush. No bleacher vultures, no jeers echoing off the backstop. Just dew-kissed grass and the faint scent of earth waking up. I parked and stepped out, breath fogging in the chill, when I spotted him. Leaning against the dugout railing, arms crossed over a Navy Cornhusker's windbreaker that hugged broad shoulders like it was tailored by God. Elias Grant in the flesh, tall, maybe 6'3", with salt and pepper hair cropped close, a jawline that could cut glass, and eyes like storm clouds over the Platte River. Mid-40s, but he moved with the easy power of someone who'd never lost a step. "Rivera," he said, pushing off the rail with a grin that hit me like a curveball. No handshake, too formal. He clapped my shoulder instead, firm and lingering just a beat too long, sending a jolt straight to my gut. Up close, he smelled like pine soap and fresh coffee, worlds away from the stale sweat of last night's defeat. "Thanks for coming." "Coffee?" He held out a thermos, steam curling like an invitation. I took it, our fingers brushing, electric, accidental, but neither of us pulled away fast. "What's this about, coach? If it's pity after yesterday." "Pity?" His laugh was genuine, crinkling the corners of his eyes. "Kid, I don't do pity. I do potential. Saw you out there, positioning your infield like a chess master, rallying those boys when the score was buried. Most dads would have folded. You fought." He nodded toward the field, where the sun was cresting the horizon, gilding the pitcher's mound in gold. "Elmwood's got talent rotting in these fields. I'm building a new development league bridge between Little League and college scouts. Hidden gem off the books for now. Need a co-head coach. Someone who knows the heart of this game, not just the stats." "Me? Co-head?" The words hung there, absurd as a no-hitter in a sandlot brawl. I coached kids for 3 seasons, patching lineups with duct tape and dad jokes. This was pro pipeline stuff. Scholarships, exposure, the kind of break that could have saved me from oil-stained coveralls and a life of what-ifs. But doubt clawed in. "Why me? Town thinks I'm a joke." Hargrove's probably already spreading tales. Elias's gaze sharpened, locking on mine with an intensity that stripped away the chill. "Screw Hargrove. I know his type, small minds guarding small lives. You think I got where I am by listening to bleacher bigots? This opportunity's hidden because it's for fighters like you, Alex. Ones who've taken hits and still swing." He stepped closer, voice dropping to a conspiratorial rumble. "And yeah, I saw the jeers. Felt 'em in my bones. Been there, outed mid-season, team fracturing like cheap lumber. But it forged me. Could forge you too." My throat tightened, the thermos warm in my hands like a lifeline. No one in Elmwood had ever said it that plain. No bless your heart pity, no veiled warnings. Just raw truth, wrapped in a gaze that saw me, not the label. "What about Jamie?" I managed, voice rough. "Can't append his world for some pipe dream. Bring him, make it family." Elias smiled then, slow and disarming, revealing a dimple that softened the storm in his eyes. "Dawn practices low profile. We build from the ground up, you, me, the kids. Deal?" I hesitated, the field stretching out like possibility under that rising sun. Hargrove's voice echoed faint in my head, but Elias's drowned it out. "Deal," I said, extending my hand. Our palms met, calloused, steady, and for the first time since Sarah's taillights faded into the night, I felt anchored. Not fixed, but possible. As we shook, the world tilted just a fraction, like the crack of a bat promising home runs yet to come. The first week blurred into a rhythm of stolen moments. 5 a.m. drives with thermos in hand, Jamie bundled in the back seat, yawning through his Cocoa Puffs. Elias was there every dawn, barking drills with a whistle that cut the fog, but his eyes always found mine across the diamond. A nod here, a shared grin there, like secrets in plain sight. "Watch the footwork, Rivera," he'd call, but his tone held warmth, not command. The kids ate it up, Jamie's swing sharpening under Elias's tweaks. The other boys, I'd poached a few from rival teams, whispering about special sessions, transforming from ragtag to relentless. Elmwood whispered, of course. I'd catch sidelong stares at the diner, Mrs. Kowalski murmuring behind her coffee mug as I loaded up on eggs for the crew. "Rivera's got some fancy sidekick now," she'd say, loud enough, but with Jamie lighting up at pickup, chattering about Coach E's magic grip, the noise faded to static. Elias kept it light. Post-practice huddles over gas station donuts, stories of his glory days at Penn State. where he'd led the Quakers to Ivy League glory despite the slurs scrawled on his locker. "Hate's loud," he'd say, popping a cruller, "but wins are louder." His laugh was infectious, a baritone rumble that loosened the knots in my chest I'd carried since coming out to my own folks, only for Dad to mutter, "Baseball don't care about that, son, just win." One evening, after a scrimmage where our makeshift squad edged out a pickup team from Lincoln, Elias lingered as the kids piled into cars. Jamie had dashed off with a neighbor for pizza night, leaving me wiping down bats in the gathering dusk. "You're a natural, Alex," Elias said, tossing me a rag, our hands brushing again. This time deliberate, a spark that lingered in the air like fireflies. "Kids look at you like you're Superman." I chuckled, leaning against the fence, the metal cool through my shirt. Superman with a utility belt of Band-Aids and bad puns. You're the real deal. Scouts buzzing about your program already. Rumors had trickled in. Donors sniffing around, university brass taking notes. It was working. This hidden league of ours, birthing talent from Nebraska's forgotten fields. He stepped closer, the space between us shrinking to breaths. "Nah, it's us. You see the soul in the game, the why behind the swing." His voice softened, eyes tracing my face in the half-light. "Reminds me of coaching my first team post-breakup. Guy I loved bailed when the headlines hit. Thought I'd lost my edge. Then I met a dad in the stands, volunteering, fierce as hell. Changed everything." My pulse thrummed, the air thick with unsaid things. Was this flirting? In Elmwood, where gay was still a punchline at tailgates. But Elias's gaze held no games, just quiet hunger. The kind that mirrored my own lonely nights scrolling profiles on apps I delete by morning. "Sounds like he knew a good thing," I murmured, heart hammering. Elias's hand found my arm, thumb grazing elbow in a touch that said more than words. "He did. Question is, do you?" Before I could answer, headlights swept the lot. Hargrove's rusty F-150, idling like a predator. Elias pulled back smooth as a steel, but the moment hung, electric and unfinished. That night, Jamie crashed early, baseball dreams fueling his snores. I lay awake, replaying the brush of skin, the weight of Elias's words. For the first time, opportunity felt like more than a job. It felt like a door cracking open to light. But doors in Elmwood had hinges that rusted shut fast. Week 3 brought the first real test. A shadow tournament in Omaha, low-key but loaded with scouts disguised as alumni fans. We'd bust the kids down I-80, Elias at the wheel of the rented van. Me shotgun with a playlist of Springsteen anthems to pump the adrenaline. Jamie sat third row, mitt on lap, whispering strategies like a pint-sized Yoda. "Dad, Coach E says trust the infield fly. It's like catching fireflies, but with teeth." Elias caught my eye in the rear view, smirking. "Kids got your brains and my charm." The drive stretched, cornfields giving way to city sprawl, and talk turned personal. Cautious at first, then spilling like rain on parched earth. He spoke of Philly roots, a mom who baked pierogies and cheered louder than any dad. A career derailed by injury, rebuilt through sheer will. Coming out, it was like fouling off 100 pitches. Some whiffed hard. His knuckles whitened on the wheel. Lost friends. Gained a hell of a team, though. I nodded, staring at the dashboard. Sarah knew before I did. Stuck around for Jamie, then ghosted when I said it out loud. Town turned it into gospel. Alex the Flake, chasing rainbows instead of runs. Bitterness edged my words, but Elias's quiet bullshit washed it clean. "You're raising a champ solo. That's not flaking, that's legend." By tournament eve, we checked into a no-frills motel off the interstate. Kids bunking 4 to a room under chaperones I'd vetted like Fort Knox. Elias and I drew the end suite, 2 queens, a mini fridge humming like judgment. "Wall between us if you want," he said, tossing his duffel on the bed nearer the door. But as night fell, TV flickering ESPN highlights, the wall felt paper-thin. We cracked beers from the cooler, toasting to hidden gems. Talk meandered to dreams deferred. Mine of pro ball, derailed by a torn rotator cuff at 22. His of Olympic trials nixed by politics. "What if this league's our shot?" he mused, feet propped on the coffee table, socked toes brushing mine accidental on purpose. Not just for the kids. For us. The word landed soft, stirring dust motes in my chest. I set my bottle down, hard a drum solo. Elias, this town's got claws. If they sniff, let 'em. He shifted, knee nudging thigh, eyes dark with intent. I've dodged worse. Question is, you ready to swing for it? His hand covered mine then, warm and sure, thumb tracing knuckles in a rhythm that echoed our shared drills. No rush, no demand, just connection, raw and real. I turned my palm up, lacing fingers, the simple act blooming like spring thunder. That night, we talked till the beer warmed and the highlights looped. Stories of first loves lost to closets. Triumphs snatched from jaws of doubt. No kisses, no lines crossed. Just two men on the edge of something vast. Hands linked like anchors in a storm. Sleep came eventual, his breathing steady across the divide. And I dreamed of fields endless, bats cracking under endless skies. Omaha dawned electric. Our boys took the bracket by storm. Jamie's double in the semis, a laser that split the outfield like Moses parting the Red Sea. Scouts murmured in clusters, notebooks flipping, but Elias played it cool, whispering adjustments from the sidelines. Rivera's got the magic touch, one said to another, clapping my back post-win. I grinned, but inside, thrill warred with terror. This was exposure, good and bad. Finals pitted us against a polished squad from Council Bluffs. Their coach a slick ex-pro with a whistle like a cattle prod. We led 3-2 bottom of the 7th, 2 outs, bases loaded. Their slugger stepped up, a beanpole kid with a swing like a scythe. Elias squeezed my shoulder from the dugout. Your call, co-head. Curve low, I signaled the pitcher. A wiry 12-year-old named Ty whose fastball trembled but heart didn't. The pitch hung sweet. Crack. The ball arced foul, then fair, rocketing toward the fence. Jamie, in left, tracked it like a hawk, glove high, body twisting midair. The crowd gasped. The ball kissed leather, snagged in a miracle rob. Game over. Pandemonium. Kids piling on Jamie. Elias hoisting me in a bear hug that crushed air from my lungs. His laugh hot against my ear. We did it, Alex. You did it. Scouts swarmed post-game. Cards exchanged. Whispers of tryouts next spring. But as we loaded the van, elation soured. A familiar F-150 idled across the lot, Hargrove, binoculars dangling from his neck like a noose. He'd followed us. Enjoy the fairy tale, boys? He sneered, engine revving as he peeled out. The words landed like gravel, but Elias just flipped him a casual bird. Unfazed. Drive, he told me, sliding into passenger. Town's small. Let 'em talk. Back in Elmwood, talk turned to roar. By Monday, the diners buzzed with it. Rivera's running a pansy camp, stealing our boys for his boyfriend's show. Anonymous notes slipped under my windshield at the shop. Stick to cars, not cocks. Jamie came home from school with a black eye, courtesy of Hargrove's grandson. He said you're why we win, 'cause you cheat with, you know. His voice broke, and mine did too, hugging him fierce in the kitchen light. I confronted Elias at practice that eve, field empty save for us. This hidden? It's a bonfire now. Jamie's paying. He pulled me into the dugout shadows, hands framing my face, eyes fierce. Then we fight smarter. Go public on our terms, presser next month. Full program reveal. Show 'em heart beats hate. His forehead pressed to mine, breath mingling. I'm in, Alex. All in. The kiss came then. Soft at first, tentative as a bunt, then deepening with the pent-up force of stolen glances and midnight confessions. Salt and pine and promise. His lips mapping mine like a well-worn baseline. We broke apart gasping, foreheads touching, the world narrowing to heartbeats. Me too, I whispered. Love, unbidden, in the dirt of a diamond. But Elmwood's claws sharpened. Whispers became walls. Sponsors pulling from the league, parents yanking kids with emails laced in scripture. Elias's bosses called, cautioning optics. And then the betrayal. My old buddy Marco, shop foreman and supposed confidant, leaked practice tapes to the local rag. Headlines screamed, Gay coach's secret playbook. Recruiting or romance? Photos grainy but damning. Elias's hand on my back. Our shared laughs twisted into scandal. Marco cornered me at the garage, grease-smeared and shifty. Had to, Alex. Town's fracturing, jobs on the line if we back your thing. His eyes darted, cowardice plain. Betrayal burned hotter than the welder's torch. We'd bonded over carburetors and custody woes. Him the straight arrow ally I'd clung to. Now? I drove to Elias's motel. Temporary digs till the storm blew, fists clenched on the wheel. He opened the door shirtless, towel drying hair from a shower, concern etching his brow. Saw the paper. Bastard. Worse? I choked, collapsing onto the bed. Marco. Sold us out for a pat on the head. Tears came unbidden, hot tracks down cheeks rough with stubble. Elias gathered me close, arms iron bands, murmuring nonsense in my ear. Polish lullabies from his mom, ballads of broken bats mended stronger. He chose fear, Elias said finally, voice steel. We choose us. That night, we planned the counterstrike. A town hall at the VFW, full disclosure. Invite the haters, bare the soul. Humanize it, Elias urged, fingers tracing my spine in lazy circles. Show Jamie's swing, not the slurs. Intimacy wove through strategy, kisses like punctuation, bodies aligning in quiet affirmation. No frenzy, just the slow burn of souls sinking, his heartbeat my metronome. Dawn brought the climax. Not a game, but a reckoning. VFW hall packed shoulder to shoulder, air thick as a seventh-inning stretch. Hargrove front row, arms crossed like barriers. Jamie beside me, small hand in mine, chin high. Elias took the mic first, voice steady thunder. This program's about second chances, for kids like Jamie, who dream bigger than this town's doubts. Alex, he's the backbone. Single dad, volunteer heart, coaching soul. We're building bridges, not bunkers. Murmurs rippled. I stepped up, throat dry as dust. I love this game because it taught me fairness. Play clean, respect the call. Love my boy more. Enough to stand here, flaws and all. Jamie squeezed my hand. I knelt, pulling him forward. This kid? He high-fives harder than he hates. That's Elmwood's real legacy. Questions flew, barbs from Hargrove. What about morals? Softened by mom's nodding slow. A scout in back stood. Saw the tapes. Talents real. Optics. Win-wins. Applause built. Tentative then title, drowning the doubters. But the real high-stakes pitch came weeks later. Regional finals, our league official now, backed by university grants Elias had hustled in secret. Rivorton again. Irony thick as fog. Stadium lights blazing over 500 souls, including half of Elmwood. Score tied 4-4, ninth inning, our turn at bat. Elias in the dugout, cap low, whispering, "This one's for the hidden chances." Jamie led off, fouling off 3 before ripping a single up the line. Ty bunted him over. Then me. Pinch hitter, heart pounding like 98 playoffs. The pitch hummed mean. I swung level, connect, line drive gapper, Jamie scoring, me on second. Roar shook the stands. Elias's grin from third base coaching? Priceless. We won 5-4 on a walk-off sac fly, confetti raining like absolution. Hargrove slunk out early, but Marco lingered at the gate, eyes down. Sorry, don't fix it, I said, but extended a hand anyway. But games go extra innings. He took it, grip weak but there, first crack in the wall. Post-game, under stadium glow, Elias pulled me aside, Jamie whooping with teammates nearby. Opportunity delivered, he murmured. Ring box materializing from his pocket. Simple band, engraved with a tiny diamond and bat. Hidden no more. Marry me, Alex. Build this life. Fields, family, forever. Tears blurred the lights. I nodded, crashing into his arms. Kiss fierce and public. Yes, all in. Elmwood shifted slow. Potlucks with rainbow jello, practices packed anew. Betrayals scarred but healed. Love, the deepest kind, proved the ultimate comeback. Jamie caught the garter at our small-town wedding. Elias's idea? corny as hell, grinning like he'd snagged a grand slam. In the end, the game's not about the score. It's the swing, the heart, the hidden chances that turn losses to legends. And ours? Still cracking him out of the park.